It is January the 18th, 2015. I'm Dana Durnford, also known as nuclearproctologist.org, and you can find my videos and Fukushima presentations throughout the entire internet, and you will find links at nuclearproctologist.org. And hi to the chat room, Shanikan, Elaine, Atom. How is everybody? And nobody knew I was putting out the stream, so only a couple of people were able to show up. And that's to be expected. Sometimes that's the way it works for me. We're heading down to court tomorrow because of my nuclear activism, I suppose. Well, it's nuclear research. We've done 260 days on the coastline. You can find those pictures at the nuclearproctologist.org. And the 5,600 species are missing on Canada's British Columbia coastline, along with the 4 million other species that didn't receive the coastline. So tonight's stream is about Lake Huron, the Great Lakes, being used for a nuclear dump. And who's going to benefit off of that? Well, it's going to be this guy here, Lukas Lundin, Lundin. And Lukas is the guy who's controlling the stocks right now in Canada for uranium. He scooped up everything because of Fukushima. He got it for pennies on a dollar. And there's a lot of really interesting stuff coming up here about that. But this is a serious issue on top of that, is that they're planning on wiping out Central Canada. Now, Central Canada, everything flows to the Atlantic Ocean. So Fukushima came in, smashed the Pacific Ocean, destroyed the coast of North America. And now these waste sites and everything else, all these nuclear power plants, well, you know, you got the flow coming out of Sellafield, England. See, a melter reactor is different, but that's not what we're going to be talking about tonight. Tonight in one sense we are, I guess. But hi, Jan. Jan is Miss Milky, the Clown one on YouTube, and Facebook, I think, and Twitter, maybe, and who knows where else, right? And so Lake Huron, let's get started on some of this stuff. Let me get rid of my moniker. Lower third. Anybody not familiar? And by the way, I got my stream going there. I better get rid of that because that's a feed. I can see that's screwed up already. But anyway, we'll get rid of it here in a second. I'll fix that over there. We got to get rid of the stream going out. We'll keep the comments. Now let me fix that. I swear I had that working properly. And that's just the way it works. Probably don't mean nothing when you're on the internet. And I didn't set up a camera to slip me over, so now I got to turn around and do that. Dina, you best get your act together, mister. And maybe if I done that in real time. Okay, that didn't work out very good, did it? Okay, I see what's going on. No, I don't. Well, we'll worry about that in a minute. Oh yeah. Okay, so it's no big deal. Don't worry about it. There's nothing I can do right now to fix that. And so let me bring up that picture of the Great Lakes. It always takes us 5 minutes to get up and get running, get started, start yakking. So do you want to put it outside of Ontario? Ontario has around 25 reactors. Don't quote me. 26 reactors. Lake Huron provides the water for not only Canadians but Americans. And the Great Lakes are one of the biggest volumes of fresh water on the entire planet. And Canada is an extremely privileged country. Well, it was till they put nuclear plants alongside of it. But Lukas Lundin, he's the guy who's going to benefit. Well, his dad benefited. His dad is considered a serial child killer. Let me get rid of this for a second. Put that up there for a second. I got too much going on, obviously. Dana better get rid of some of the stuff. And so we're having problems tonight for some reason. Let me see if I can get myself back to where I thought I was supposed to be. My apologies to people who don't have the patience. You can go back to your Fox and CNN and MSNBC. and forget that the reality is right here. Okay, that didn't work. I'll get it. Here we go. Lukas. So Lukas's dad, not a very flattering headline, I'm sure, for anybody. But that's a trademark in the family, so they're not worried about it. It's a badge of honor for the family. Now, Adolf Lundin, he got his break in Saudi Arabia because it's illegal to do bribes open down there, I guess. He made a bet with the Saudi monarchy at the time, and he bet him $1 million it was going to rain in the desert the next day. And of course, it wasn't going to rain in the desert the next day, and the Saudi monarchy accepted the bet, and then he won $1 million, and Lukas paid him $1 million the next day. And shortly after that, Lundin, not Lukas, Adolf, his dad, that's how his dad got his start. Then he got a permit to go looking for oil, and he found the biggest oil deposit on the world at that time. Maybe even right now, I'm not sure, but at that time, in the Saudi desert. Now, his dad died of leukemia. There's no irony in that one. And we feel for him. He must have suffered greatly, even though he had billions of dollars. Leukemia is a very... We've seen what happened to Steve Jobs, right? You play with the system or they murder you. Multi-billions of dollars, and he couldn't stay alive because he put his fate in the system. He really thought that they had his best interest. They just wanted his company. They wanted his software. They wanted to control the world. And Apple was the most coveted, quickest way into somebody's home. Right, Al Gore's been on that leadership board for a long time, so it's been very compromised. Okay, hang on, we'll get to that in a second. So, Cameco's $800 million tax battle. That's another one of Lukas's new pickups. He just picked that one up. So, hang on. Now, he owes $800 million. I'll find out. I just had it there. Hang on. So what he done anyway, if you go look that early, go up and read through, Globe and Mail, who's pushing, they're the only ones out there to get a Lukas interview. So the Great Lakes right now are a pond for Lukas, for Lundin Mines. That's what it is, 100%, right? Lukas Lundin is Silver Gold Man. That's who Silver Gold Man is on this planet. He's got all the silver and gold mines around this planet. So Cameco, plus he's a huge, he sells stocks. And what does the Globe and Mail do? We've covered this many times. The Globe and Mail pukes out uranium stocks. So they're the biggest threats to Canadian. Is the Globe and Mail really, by far? Not what I wanted. Bear with me, I'll fix that up a little bit better. We're having problems. What else is new? And so, what they done was they set up a tax-free haven in Switzerland. That's where Lukas is from. And all the stuff gets sold to that company in Switzerland for nothing. And they don't pay taxes because they're a tax-free haven. And then that company sells it to the nuclear reactors. And when they're finished with it, they're going to ship it back and put it at the Great Lakes. That's their plan, right? So this will, if they can get the mine, or what they call a repository. Now you think about these repositories that if you put it there and you have an accident, you can never get there again. It's the stupidest thing imaginable. Putting it all down in a big hole in the ground. They say they're only going to put in transgenic waste, which is like gloves or hammers or tools or paper towels that got contaminated. I don't know how they would, but I'm not going down that road tonight. But what we know they're going to do is put in nuclear waste. Who's going to censor them? Who's going to be the checks and balances? Who's going to check inside the drums? And their entire history has been doing the exact same thing where they say, oh, it's just gloves and hammers, and then you have an accident there and no one can ever get back in there. It pollutes the entire corner of that country, if not the entire country. It never stops hemorrhaging out of it anyway. But if you have a fire there, everybody runs, and you have to give them billions of dollars a year while they scratch their heads and figure out how to get another billion out of you next year. Because they're not going to give up their pensions. They're not going to give up their jobs. They're not going back down in the mine. I got me a union. That's what they say. I ain't doing jack shit. And then the taxpayers are left desperately trying to figure out what's going on. These people will lie and manipulate and deceive and steal from the Canadians to no end. That's what they're doing right now. Everything nuclear is the worst thing imaginable. Fukushima has already killed the Pacific Ocean. It's killed it. That's why they're trying to ram all of these things in there before people start waking up. And so here's Cameco. They start up a company in Switzerland, where Lukas is from, to be a tax-free haven. So they don't pay state, federal, local, provincial taxes. They take all the money, they ship it right out of the country. Canada does benefit not 1 cent from that. They steal it all, and we pay them. We give them huge amounts of billions of dollars to go do whatever they want. And then the insiders that gave them all the money gets the insider tips, and they get huge returns on their stocks. And nobody knows what's going on except for... But that's how Lukas's dad Adolf worked, right? That's how that whole system works. And so the Great Lakes is about pumping up the uranium stocks. It's about destroying Canada. It's about wrecking the biggest province in Canada. It's about polluting the east coast of Canada. And it's about destroying the fresh water, the biggest freshwater reserve in Canada. It's about killing you and your loved ones, and then profiting off the cancer, liquidating your assets when you try to survive with the cancer. There's a whole industry behind liquidating your assets as you die from cancer. An entire industry. Lawyers, judges, doctors, you name it, funeral homes, they're all in on it. Nursing homes. It's the worst thing you can do to your loved one is put your loved one in a nursing home. Let's keep going. On uranium, strong uranium sales. So once again, the Globe and Mail. Now the Globe and Mail come out and accuse me of uttering death threats against nuclear apologists. I'm charged with criminal harassment of nuclear pukes. But it's not even a case that's meant to go to court. Yet I've been to court. This is the 4th trip coming up tomorrow. It's not meant to go into court because they don't name who the witnesses are. It's not meant to go into court because they don't even present the case. They accuse me of being anti-police without no examples. They accuse me of all kinds of stuff with no examples. The lawyers that I talked to said they don't understand what the frig is going on. What the hell are they doing? Because it was designed to come out and smear me by the Globe and Mail. It was designed to come out and smear me in CBC. It was designed... Right, they come out and accuse me of death threats when I'm charged with criminal harassment. But then you see all the nuclear apologists haven't stopped for the last month out there everywhere my videos are saying, I can't trust him. He was charged with uttering death threats. I'm not. They attacked my site, took down my website. They got all these strikes against me, attacked that. We ended up live stream where we are right now.com. This was the nuclear industry coming after me because they want to make a whole bunch of money. They thought they can get rid of me. That didn't work. It blew up in their faces. There were 60 articles that came out and slaughtered UVic and Woods Hole, the 2 apologists. I'm not even allowed to say the names of the 2 most popular spokespeople in North America. It's because I'm Dana Durnford, the nuclearproctologist.org. And why we're talking about that, let me explain something to you. Canada's drinking water. Look at the tritium, 3H, 7,000 becquerels a litre. This will help you. So here's some studies on tritium. So pre-Fukushima, tritium levels in the German Blight were 0.34 of a becquerel a litre. Tritium radioactivity in Egypt. What was the year on that one? It doesn't say. It was pre-Fukushima. These studies are showing less than a becquerel a liter of tritium pre-Fukushima. Tritium concentrations here were 1.5 becquerels, 2 becquerels a liter, stuff like that before Fukushima. In Sicily, in Italy, it was the same thing. I think they were like 7 or 8 becquerels a liter. Hang on. They have a limit for 100 becquerels a limit. Just keep watching. Evaluation of tritium in the Candu nuclear power plants around those areas was 3.5 to 0.7 becquerels a liter, minus give or take. Right? So what you're seeing here now is tritium levels all around the world pre-Fukushima. Pollution of ground sources of drinking water with tritium. And that study was, doesn't give us a date. Tritium in surface water in Poland, what were they? 1.4 to 1.9 becquerels a square meter. Or that's a decimeter, so that's 100 liters. Well, look at Canada's drinking water standard, 7,000 becquerels a liter. They're doing that because they're planning on the Great Lakes on top of that, polluting everything. I mean, that's in their plan. Yeah, but I mean, it's going to get diluted, Dana. No, you can't dilute radiation. If it could, why would we worry about terrorist bombs? Why would we just go around, spray the whole city with water, got diluted? Because you can put 2 million atoms of these radioactive man-made atoms in a liter of water. Or on the head of a needle, rather. You can't see them, but that's 2 million cancers. But it takes 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years to manifest for the cancers to get diagnosed. But meanwhile, there's 1,800 autoimmune deficiencies. Alzheimer's, dementia, liver, lung, respiratory, pituitary, cervical, all kinds of, Alzheimer's, dementia, and diabetes alone will show up before the cancer. Because your body is attacking itself with white blood cells because you have this foreign object. Man-made is not like bananas or potato chips or walking in the sunshine. And anybody who told you that is a mass murderer. Like the University of Victoria in British Columbia, Canada, mass murderers. And Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution, mass murderers. But I'm not allowed to talk about these people. I'm not allowed to mention any names or they'll arrest me. Yeah? Talk about silencing opposition in Canada. You talk about stomping out dissent. You talk about hanging the messenger, shooting the messenger. Well, what they done with me, they got me barbarized. They got me accused of death threats throughout the country, but I'm charged with criminal harassment and nuclear pukes. A slap on the wrist. Big whoop. Compared to death threats, 10 years in jail. So why did the media smear me throughout Canada, even though I talked to them? Even though they watched my video and they knew that I was only charged with criminal harassment, that I wasn't charged with death threats. They made it up. They made it up out of thin air. And then the PR firms, 2,000 of them, went to every blog on the internet, on YouTube, throughout the internet, Facebook, Twitter, and smeared me. Because Lukas Lundin wants his uranium stocks. He's got enough money to retire, but he's not going to be happy until he kills everybody in Canada and everywhere else at the same time by keeping nuclear alive for another couple of years. By making a big killing of it. By creating more death destruction. No, he's got enough money to retire. He's got billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions. And he was born with a silver spoon up his arse his whole life. He was born with a silver 2x4 up his arse his whole life. And he went around and spit on everybody his whole life. And now he wants to murder you and your loved ones and your friends and your families and every creature on the planet. That's Lukas Lundin. He got no intentions of retiring. He said that. He's got no intentions of not being evil. He knows what he's doing. He's not stupid. He knows exactly what he's done. He knows by making uranium popular and selling the stocks throughout Canada, he creates an environment we can't escape it. He knows by bringing it back on board and ignoring what Fukushima is doing, ignoring the death of the Pacific Ocean, is dead. Pacific Ocean is dead. It's dead. I'll show you what I mean. It's dead. We went out on this boat here, 260 days, 15,000 miles of the coastline, and instead of finding life, we found wasteland. The whole bloody coastline. The entire coastline of Canada is naked. These pictures are pre-Fukushima from the same spots. Post-Fukushima. Pre-Fukushima, post-Fukushima. Pre-Fukushima. Same spot. Post-Fukushima. These pictures. But that is emblematic of the entire coastline of British Columbia. That is emblematic of the entire coastline of Canada. It's missing. And the 4 million other species didn't receive the coastline because of the fallout from Japan. Because of the fallout from uranium and plutonium. And here is Lukas Lundin, scooped up all the uranium stocks, uranium mines, and is now going to destroy Canada in one fell swoop before he retires. He's going to wreck everything good left before he retires. He got enough money to fuck off somewhere, but rather than do that, he's going to destroy whatever's left in Canada because he don't give a fuck about Canada. He's not from Canada. He's not even from our planet. He don't act like a human. He don't give a fuck about anything. His whole history is misery. His whole history is impoverishment of other people. His whole history and his future history is wrecking Canada permanently. That's why he's attacking me. He's not doing it directly. He's got Global Mail to do it for him. He's got CBC to do it for him. He's got diplomatic immunity as a Canadian citizen and as a corporation. Lukas Lundin can't go to jail. He can't get a criminal record. He's corporate personhood. All he can do is get a fine. But he doesn't get a criminal record, so he can keep committing the crimes. And that's exactly what he done, and that's why he is in the capacity that he is now. Lukas Lundin got no intentions of doing something good. He wants to kill the planet before he retires. That's his legacy. Death, death, and more death. That's pre-Fukushima. That's since Fukushima. And the entire coastline. The entire coastline. And who's telling you about it? The CBC telling you about it? That is missing and that now is naked? Is Global Mail going to tell you that? No, they'll come out and call me and accuse me of uttering death threats. Oh, there's death threats! Go read the articles about it and see the lies yourself and see how maniacal and disgusted and twisted and demented these people are. Think about the fact that we covered those arrows are representations of areas we covered. Over 260 days, 15,000 miles. In the last 13, 14 months, that's what we accomplished in this little dinky. This crowdfunded, amazing operation. I couldn't be more prouder to sit here and tell you that story. That we done this entire coastline, is documented it up at the nuclearproctologist.org. The 4 million other species didn't receive the coastline. This is because the ocean currents are real. It's because the jet streams are real. It's because people don't pay attention. Does that mean it's not real? That it didn't happen? That we are not in desperate times? Of course it don't. Because that is what we are in. We are in end times. Because of Global Mail, one of the biggest offenders on the planet. These people are absolutely on remorse. No remorse whatsoever. They come out and accuse me of that so they can destroy me and so you won't hear my narrative. So they can use censorship, and they do. The Canadian police from Victoria, in tandem with the FBI and the court documents, use Google to censor me. Use Google to censor me so you couldn't find me, so you wouldn't hear about me a year and a half before they arrested me on a fishing expedition to protect Lukas Lundin and his uranium stocks and the stockholders in our government that are going to get their payback. That's their payback. But they got to get the dump in Ontario. They got to be able to poison all the fresh water left on our planet from a direct exposure. The 25 nuclear power plants we got in Ontario are contaminating all of Canada. But it's not bad enough. We got to wreck it now. Finish the job. Put a dump right alongside of it within less than a kilometer with the intentions that it would leak out into the lake, and the lake would dilute it. The same lie you've been fed for 70 years. Oh, it's like a banana, it's like a potato chip. It'll get diluted. Boom! Pull a hockey sweater over your head and give him the uppercut. Give him one for me. It's legal in Canada if you're playing hockey. But not when they're murdering you. Not when they're destroying you. Not when they're giving your children cancers and diseases and Alzheimer's and dementia and diabetes and liver and lung and respiratory and heart problems. That's what a nuclear plant does. I'm still angry. I didn't do anything wrong. 260 days on the ocean, I come ashore and Globe and Mail comes out and smears me and accuses me of death threats. They get me arrested and they don't even have a case on me. I'm charged with criminal harassment. How am I supposed to feel when there's no one out there I can turn to show you the data? I got no one out there. It's just me, baby. And that's why he came after me and took down 300 of these presentations. 300. Or they're going to lock me up. Took away my freedom of speech and smeared me throughout the country for something that I didn't do so they can get more money in their stocks. So they can push Lake Huron nuclear waste dump out there so they can get rid of the opposition who would educate them. And what does everybody do? They run off and give Greenpeace donations. Forget about the person out there on the front line. Fuck him. Fuck me. That's all he done to me. I'm not saying the hounds didn't stand by me and save me relentlessly and put their bodies into the wheels and stop this machine from grinding me to pieces, because that's what they done. 60 articles written in support of me that abolished their narrative, that wrecked their lies. But they use censorship to stop people from reading it. They use censorship. I got it all for court documents. Like my cigarettes don't got 7,000 chemicals. CNT. Does yours have 7,000 chemicals? Of course it does. Did you even know they don't have 7,000? They have 7,000 chemicals in a cigarette. The nuclear waste that they want to put in Lake Huron, they say it's transgenic, like for gloves and everything else. It's not. It's the same thing they said at WIP. Now we know they got over 3 tons of weapons-grade plutonium there. They can't get back down there because they had a fire. But they told us it was a truck fire originally on Valentine's Day, right? And now we find out, or a week later, they said they had a radiation release, but nobody had been down there for a whole week because they had a truck fire in a mine a week ago. If you had a mine, and these things are huge, 53 football fields, and you had a truck fire and the fire went out, would you go back down and go to work, or would you say, I don't got to do jack shit, I got me a union? They had a truck fire, I'm not going back underground forever. Because that's what they done. They had a truck fire. Never bothered telling the community, don't keep your children home for a couple of days. It's releasing radiation. No. If they done that, they wouldn't have a pension. They wouldn't have a job. These people got their jobs from coffee cups and pizza boxes. That's where they got their education, from the schools that were advertising there. Same thing for Homeland Security. Groping $700 million a year, and the borders are wide open. But meanwhile, Lukas Lundin, he's going to murder Canada. He's going to wreck Canada. All the money, like I showed you earlier in the headlines, they got a company offshore. They don't pay state, federal, local, provincial, community taxes. And then the people they give jobs to are the thugs in your community. The people they give jobs to are the ones that are releasing it and dumping it in your communities. And then they got tons of money, and your children covet them because they got all the toys. And so your children are lulled into thinking that is cool. It's murder. Everything nuclear is murder. They can't contain it. You can't, when you bury it underground, you can't put it in a container. It's not in a container sealed. They have to vent it all because it'll detonate. Once it detonates, it only needs oxygen to detonate. The noble gases. Right in this fucking thing over right here, who don't have any allegiance to Canada whatsoever, who don't give a fuck about Canada whatsoever. And I'm putting this video up because I think they're going to murder me on the way down there tomorrow, or on the way back to court in Victoria, or in a hotel tomorrow night or something. You know, they kicked my door in the last time that I went to court, right? So I had to throw out all my groceries, all my soap, and all my shampoo, and all my toothpaste. Damn you paranoid cookie conspiracy theory, you. Do you got any idea what these people fucking have done? Do you got any kind of idea of the misery these people create? Have you got any idea how vicious and heartless and soulless these people really are. What they do for $1. How they got no moral compass whatsoever. No, Dana. You're just businessmen, Dana. Yeah, you're a moron. And that is the way life is. Yeah, he's got a mug for radio, that guy. That's his daughter. This is what my dad does to people in Sudan, Africa since 1991. I'm sorry, that's Ian Lundin. Ian, that's Ian's daughter, my mistake. Well, that's Ian and Lucas there. Lucas Petroleum. They got a good history. Yeah, we do it. They got enough money to retire and not create misery no more. But why do that when they can create more misery by buying all the uranium stocks for dirt cheap because of Fukushima? And then pushing it into the biggest freshwater lake on the planet. Why the fuck would you do that? Why would you put it? Why would you insist? Why would you even have a fucking debate about it? To put it by our fresh water. Why do that? What the fuck is going through your heads? Because they're evil. They have no conscience. They're in it for $1 and they're in it for the evil. These two fucking things don't need any more money. They don't need another nickel. They got enough money to fuck off and do whatever they want for the rest of their life and their children's life and their children's life and their children's life. But they insist on being evil. They insist on fucking wrecking whatever is left. Because it's a Canadian video, I can swear all I want. That's the Canadian way. Woo! Canada rules. My cigarettes don't got 7,000 chemicals. They don't got 7,000 chemicals. Knock the fire off. Clintons help companies that donate. Now remember, Lucas's dad, Adolf, he gave the Saudi $1 million bet, a sure bet. There would be rain in the desert the next day, got $1 million. Bill Clinton, he done the same thing, between $1 and $5 million. Why did he do that for? Don't know how to play honest? You got to pay off everybody out there? Was that a kickback to the Clinton Foundation? That's exactly what it was, right? If you don't like me smoking, it's because you're brainwashed. I don't tell you how to live your fucking life. You're probably sat there having a smoke. The kid trust me, he's having a smoke. I don't smoke very much, but I do smoke when I blog for some reason. It's so hard to do what I'm doing anyway. $800 million tax battle. See, like Globe and Mail can't tell you the truth. They can't come out and say, look, they got $800 million. You know, they do tell you the truth somewhere in the article there. They do mention it, but they don't make a deal out of it or nothing. But that's how media works, right? They do throw it in there amongst all the other nonsense. They got their 4 pages of it. But here's a company that started up a country in Sweden so it didn't have to pay taxes in Canada. That's Lukas Lundin. That's Cameco. That's fissionable uranium mines. He's bought up all the big mines in Canada. And now he's intent on having his dump. Now he wants his dump in Lake Huron. He wants to kill that too. He said he got a lot of money, but he got nothing better to do than kill Canadians. He never said those his exact words. He just said he got tons of money, but he'd never stop doing what he's doing, which is killing Canadians. Which is, after Fukushima, I mean, are you familiar with Fukushima, folks? Are you familiar with Fukushima? Let me run you through it right quick. Hell on earth, Chernobyl was the worst environmental disaster. That was John Vidal. And look, the third sentences. For the next 10 days, the equivalent of 400 Hiroshima bombs worth of radioactivity. And so Ireland, Scotland, New Zealand, you still can't eat the meat, drink the milk, or sell the land in certain parts of it. In Sweden, where Lucas is from, 2 years ago, they opened a freshwater fishery because of Chernobyl. Let me tell you again. Hi, Dana. Hi, Todd. I'm doing a live show right now. Yeah. I can, yeah. I can. I'll be a couple of minutes late, but I'll show up on Skype for you about 8:32 or something. Oh, okay, we'll see you then, Todd. Yeah, bye-bye. Bye. Okay, so I got to finish off this one and then do the Jeff Rince's show at 8:32 or something. I just signed up to. I may come on a little bit early. And so we'll do the Jeff Rince's show. Okay, so let's talk Fukushima for a second, though. Fukushima had a 9.0 earthquake. Fukushima then had a tsunami. The reactors blew up and melted down. This is Unit 1. It's 100% meltdown. It's 3 times the size of Chernobyl. Chernobyl was a 30% meltdown, 1/3 the size. Chernobyl stopped after 10 days. That never stopped. That's Unit 1. That's Unit 2. Same thing. It never stopped. 100% meltdown. Just those two alone makes Chernobyl look like a candlestick. Doesn't stop here, though. Unit 3 was mixed oxide fuel. And that's what we're producing here in Canada. That's what Lukas wants to get into. That's what the Riva is trying to do too, right? Is start producing mixed oxide fuel. The plutonium burns up to 200,000 degrees hotter than uranium. But not only those side problems, it's 2 million times worse than any other reactor on the planet. And that a gram of it, if you distribute the atoms out, is enough to kill everything on the planet, animals included. A gram of it. A pound of it in a theater with 1,500 people will kill everybody in the front row in 20 minutes, and then everybody in the back row and in between that over the next 20 minutes, rather. Everybody in the front row in 1 minute. But you can dump everybody out of that building and kill everything on the planet every 20 minutes till they're all gone, and that 1 pound will still be sitting there ready to murder anything else that shows up on the planet. It's a pound of it. These reactors had 3,840 assemblies. Each assembly has 80 rods. Each rod is 18 pounds and 12 feet long. That's over 5 million pounds per reactor. Then it went up on the roof. The reactor cores, when they couldn't use them to make energy no more, and a gram of it produces 1 million watts. But you got to get 400 train car loads of ore, crush it up, use harsh chemicals, stupid amount of water. That's what Lukas wants to do. And pollute everything at the same time. Oh, we'll build tailing mines, tailing ponds. Yeah, and they always break, they always hemorrhage, they always leak into the earth, they always evaporate into our communities. That's what they do. That's Unit 4. Think about that alloy. 100% meltdown, melt through. Look at how destroyed it is. Look at it. Here's Canada, especially like people like Globe and Mail and CBC come out and told us it looked like that on the inside on the roof. It looked like that at the fuel pull, when in reality it looked like that. They done that to protect Lukas Lundin and the stockholders, which are the heads of CBC and everybody else in Canada, CTV, particularly Globe and Mail. All of them own stocks in uranium. That's why they demonized me in the media. That's why they tried to wreck me and destroy me and vilify me. That's why they're trying to suicide me. They're trying to kill me. Don't think they're not. We got too much proof of it now. They're definitely out to get me. If they haven't already done me, it wouldn't be a surprise. The slow kill. Die off in a year's time of massive heart attack. Oh, Mr. Durnford died of a heart attack. I was murdered. That's what'll happen. You watch. Look at these reactors. Those 4 reactors created 9 million 1-ton bags. That's just from fallout. That's not from cleaning up the reactor sites. That's from fallout through all these little communities. That's just Fukushima Prefecture, over 10,000 dumps like that. 9 million bags from 4 buildings. No, nuclear's carbon free, Dana. It's too cheap to meter, Dana. So was that tsunami. You know, you live in this world of fantasies where you're fed all kinds of lies. Oh, the ocean currents take 6 years for it to get here, Dana. The current's crossed in 45 days. It's called a Kuroshio current. It keeps the coast of British Columbia, Canada. It regulates the temperature from the warm waters from Japan. If it took 6 years to get here, the water would cool right off. Dummy. So it's here in 45 days at 5 miles an hour, 24 hours a day. The Kuroshio current travels faster than that. Let's go back to George. Let's go back to Canada for a second. Oh, I'm already on that page. I scroll up. So you had all those reactors melting down, in particular that Unit 4. Let me show you that one more time, Unit 4. Yet they showed you that for a roof of that. They showed you, said the interior of it looks like that, but we know they tore it all off. They tore it all off. Look at the side of it, it's all gone. Almost down to the ground, right? Do you think that if you walked inside of that and looked up, it looked like that? Do you? Do you think if you went inside of that and look at the ground, look at around the ground, look at how the building, this is a 10-story building. Do you think up at the roof of it, it looks like this? Okay, hang on, bear with me now. Bear with me. Just stay with me. If you do, if you agree with me and you say, no, that can't exist inside of that building, why did World Nuclear News come out and show you the picture I put there very close to me? But look at the story itself where they show a beautiful fuel pool. Now, here's BBC. I got to set up properly. On the other side, I put the explosion in number 4. But this is Japan begins nuclear plant fuel rod removal from the building I'm showing you on the other side. I just showed you number 4. See that one up in the corner? That's Seth Dorn says he's inside of it. Look at the beautiful fuel pool. But look at the pictures of the destroyed building. Here's Informative. Shows you a beautiful fuel pool. But look at the pictures I put there alongside of it for you. Far over to your right. Here's CBC. Come out and lied to you. Look, lied to you. Removal of fuel rods began at Fukushima. But look at the two pictures I put over there where detonated and what's left of the building. They don't match up, do they? Because CBC could have done that, but they didn't. They come out and told you a lie to protect Lukas Lundin. Right? That's why they done it. That's why RT done the same thing. Question more. But you can't question them. There's no one there to hold accountable. They're corporations. Nobody can go to jail. Nobody can get a criminal record. They'll do this all day till the end of time. They don't care about you. I do. I fight for you every day. I take an incredible beating. 260 days on the ocean on top of that. Supported and loved and put up on a pedestal by the hounds of Fukushima. As my solace. And solace it was. They were able to console me in my worst of times. And we got the job done. We got over 200,000 pictures of the coastline up at the nuclearproctologist.org. Nuclearproctologist.org. And what we showed was that the phytoplankton, the basis of the food chain, the carbon sequestering, the oxygen chain, the very basis of it is gone. The krill, the anchovies, the sardines, the squid, the herring, the salmon, the birds throughout the entire coastline are gone. All the species are gone on the coastline shoreline from man-made radiation. And what does the Globe and Mail say? They get people like me and accuse me of death threats to demonize me over and over. Because the truth will wreck their stocks. And so the truth can't be known. They don't care about you. They don't care about your loved ones. They don't care about your friends or your families. Here's TEPCO saying they're removing the fuel. And look at the pictures far over that I put there, the destroyed buildings. Here's Motherboard telling you they're beautiful pools. But look at the pictures I put there at the far corner over to the right. Destroyed buildings. See, they don't match up, right? Here's physics.org showing you a beautiful fuel pool. But yeah, look at the destroyed building and the explosion I put there for you. No one's going to do that for you, only Dana. That's it. Nobody has ever done that for you. But I showed you the before and after, and I don't really need to say anything because you're not stupid. When you look at that, you know the difference. You know I'm telling you the truth. You know that there is nothing contained. There is nothing contained in number 3, is it? And number 3 is 2 million times worse than the best reactor we have on the planet, the biggest, baddest reactor we have on the planet. It's 2 million times worse. And that's not counting the fuel pools with the old reactor cores wrecking Canada. But Lucas doesn't want you to understand that. Lucas don't care about that. His dad didn't care about that. His brother, daughter doesn't care about it. Him and his brother don't care about it. The Globe and Mail don't give a fuck. All they care about is stocks are doubling. We're going to make a killing. We're killing. So I'm going to bug out early. That gives me 15 minutes to get ready for the show. And so hi to everybody that managed to find the stream. And I'll try to get it up tonight, that beautiful girl by Dana on YouTube in a higher quality format. Yeah, I did record it. Okay, good stuff. Hi, Clinton. Good night, everybody. Albert. Just remember, folks, Canada's drinking water standards now 7 million becquerels a litre of tritium, man-made 3H. Pre-Fukushima studies. There's another one I want you to see. Blackish seawater around Japan. Pre-Fukushima was 1.1 becquerels a litre. There's another study I got here. Radium, tritium measurements in drinking water in Italy. 5.6 to 65 becquerels a litre, give or take, 3H, right? The risk of leukemia in young children from exposure to tritium and carbon-14 in the discharges of the German nuclear power station, 2014, atmospheric nuclear weapons testing. Experimental induction of bone tumors by short-lived bone-seeking radionuclides. Let's end on this one. Dr. Raymond Gilmet, coming at you right quick here. But just don't forget that we got, you see all those studies pre-Fukushima. Hang on. These pre-Fukushima studies showing just 1 or 10 becquerels per litre. Canada has 7,000 becquerels a litre after Fukushima. And because of all the releases. Do we really want a radiation dump in our right alongside of our Great Lake? Is there anything more stupider? Is there anything more wrong than that? Is there anything more maniacal and dangerous than that? No. Is there any way we can trust them to only put gloves and everything in that big pit in the ground? Why do you need to go 2,000 feet under the ground for fucking gloves and hammers that contaminate it? No, you're going down there because you're going to put the highly level radio stuff down there like you've always done. Like you've always lied and like we have endless proof of now. And that Lukas Lundin is intent upon fucking Canada permanently. He's not from Canada. He don't care about it like I do. He doesn't covet human life or the animal or marine life like I do or you do. He doesn't care. He has enough money to retire, but he's intent upon fucking everything up. I'm not going to sit here and take it from him or anybody else. And you'll kill me for what I'm doing tonight, and I don't care. Because nobody else will come out and say it, and so I got to go do it. Dr. Raymond Gilmet, he showed you over and over and over in these studies, 94 of them, into 144 beagle dogs in that study. Most of them died within 1.3 to 5 years. They all died within 5 years. And they all died from wicked, vicious, unbelievable, maniacal tumors. And so it's not like a banana. It's not like walking in the sunshine. It's not like getting on a fucking airplane. It's not like sleeping next to somebody. Anybody says that to you, anybody that says that in the fucking media, you gotta hold them accountable. And if you don't fucking blame anybody in the future for the cancer your loved ones are suffering from. Don't blame anybody in the future because you gotta liquidate all your assets to take care of yourself or your friends or your families. Because you won't make a fucking stand right now. Because you can't see that the studies I'm showing you. Look at the last sentences, 2 sentences. These findings in dogs suggest a similar dose-related biological effects could be expected in humans. And Lukas Lundin is intent upon having that repository in Lake Huron in Ontario, and that will fuck over our country permanently and everything east of it till the end of time. It's the worst decision imaginable. Your government knows what they're fucking doing. They're waiting for you to settle down. They're going to pass it through anyway. You can't trust them. They're not your government. They're Lukas's, London's back fucking pocket. I'm Dana Durnford, nuclearproctologist.org, and hugs for everybody. Hi, Thomas. Hi, everybody. We'll come in and say goodnight. I'll get ready to do the Jeff Francis show coming up. Elaine, Shanika, and Clint, Adam, Thomas, Gil, Albert, and anybody I might have missed. Good luck, good night, hugs for everybody. And I'll post this up after the radio show. I'm going to do a radio show right away here in a few minutes. So I'm going to jump, get a cup of tea, and switch over to Skype and knock it out of the ballpark just one more time before the day's out. We're heading down to court tomorrow. We raised $100 to go to court with. That's cool. And you can donate at nuclearproctologist.org with your credit cards, or go to PayPal. It's really easy to set up, and you can donate there. We still have a couple of more court appearances. They're trying to wreck me, so we can't do what we're doing. And we are back. We're getting ready to produce the documentary. We are, so we're just going to go ahead and do it now. No time to be lost, afraid to kill me or lock me up. I'm going to produce the documentary of the coast of our expedition, so that story gets told, and if they do lock me up, at least that narrative got out there, and hopefully we saved a few more lives. The Globe and Mail ain't going to do it. Lukas Lundin's not going to do it. It's up to us and the Hounds of Fukushima and Dana and all of our friends out there that are trying their best. Hugs for everybody. Good night, everyone. We'll see everybody when I get back from court. Take care, folks.